seeing how this looks and sounds. Um, Being kind of quiet. It's night outside, so I did something today with family that needed to be done, and it got me thinking. So my aunts, my dad's sisters, and sister-in-law, and one of my cousins came down from all over San Antonio, California, and we buried some of my uncle's ashes uh, at my grandparents' gravesite. His parents, my dad's parents, and it finally seemed real to me. Uh, we lost him this year from cancer. He'd been fighting it about 2.5 years. You know, he's an amazing guy, doctor. He loved going out and hiking, and uh, took me whitewater rafting a couple of times when I was younger. Just a phenomenal person. You know, he's one of those guys that really talk to you. He asked you quick questions, and he was uh, genuinely concerned and genuinely curious, is what I want to say, um, about you, about your life, about your family. Uh, got a fire going, uh, and it's just, you know, my aunt, his wife, and I talked a little bit during it, and one thing I told her is that I really think that we buried his heart with them today. Maybe not physically, but you know, he grew up here, South Texas, for some of his life. My grandparents sent him to private school upstate, and then he graduated, went to an Ivy League school in New Hampshire, I believe it is, and then he became a doctor. The funny thing is, my grandparents were upset that he didn't come back and farm. Until he kind of showed them things, and uh, what it meant to be a doctor. And they kind of accepted it then, but overall they were really proud of it, as all of us were, you know, and gets you thinking, you know, here I am, uh, somewhere between my prime and the pasture, and I think I've had a pretty good life. Got my daughter, my twin boys, uh, amazing wife, and it makes you wonder when you see things like this. Have I done enough? Can I do enough? What am I going to leave in this world? And That's a big thing for me, you know. Did I raise my sons well enough? Did I teach them good enough values? I'm not so worried about leaving my mark in the world because everyone leaves a mark some way. And if you have faith, you believe from from dust we were made, and to dust we will return. That's a big thing. But when you shuffle off this mortal coil, we know that it's going to be much better. And I just, you know, I'm doing what I can because there's a lot of things I still want to do, a lot of places I still want to go, and God willing, I'll be able to. My wife went and I went on a cruise. It was her first. It was my first in like 40 years, and we loved it. And we want to do more. We've got another one planned, and there's just really so much that a person could see, a person could do, and is there enough time, you know? And why do we have to wait this long and work so hard to get this done, But I really don't have any regrets. That's the big thing. I look back on my life and the important stuff, my family, again, my faith, um, what I have done is pretty good, you know. But this afternoon, seeing my grandparents' names and being the first one to pour some ashes in that hole, my brother-in-law dug, just shallow one, and then uh, we all got river rocks from a river he liked, and I think, and they had his name and birth and death years on it, and then on one side, and the other side it had one of his favorites, not his favorite saying, which was "Carpe Diem," seize the day, and we need to do that in one way or another. And it makes you wonder, have you done enough? Have you lived enough? And has it been a quality life? You can spend your life making a living and not really living. My sons growing up, I made sure they had a good life, that they experienced things that uh, most kids may not have experienced, tried things, and just, had a blast. I'm close to them. Make sure it doesn't go out. And, I'm just hoping. And like I said, I'm between my prime and the pasture. And if you're young and don't understand that, ranchers would have cattle that, or, or other animals that they kept for breeding healthy stock. And when they were done with that, they would put them in a pasture and let them just go off and live out their days just free. And a lot of people want to be rich. Don't live to be rich. Live to be free. And that's what I'm trying to do. The title of this video is a Wade Bowen song. If you haven't heard it, look it up. It's pretty good. But yeah, I've just been contemplating these things. I've been kind of in a somber mood. It's not really depression, it's just being somber. So I miss my uncle. Of course, I know he he's in a better place, and although he traveled around everywhere, one thing I like that he did is in his office, either at home or when he was CEO, whatever, he had a bowl of dirt from our farm, and he kept that dirt on his desk. People would ask, why do you have dirt? And he said, because it helps remind me where I come from. And I think that's important. Always remember your roots, where you come from. Pass those on to your kids, your family, and be sure that that's what's important. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to try and do these every night, upload them. Just thoughts, what's going around my head as a 50-something-year-old, and I'm not going to edit it. You're going to hear all the background noise and all that, but yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what's on my mind. So I'll probably do an official intro video tomorrow. But until then, I'll see you in the funny papers.